This video is presented by Western and Southern Financial Group, a game plan for your financial future. Every great team starts with a strong foundation, and your future should too. With life insurance built like a championship roster, Western and Southern helps protect what matters most so you can focus on winning today while planning for tomorrow. Whether you're just starting out your journey, building your dynasty, or ready to retire like a champion, Western and Southern has the right play for your life stage. Visit westernsouthern.com to get your free life insurance quote today. Western and Southern, built to win.
We've got a massive game on Thursday Night Football this week between the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks, who are currently tied for first place in the NFC West with an 11-3 record each. We're going to go over the best bets for Thursday Night Football, and I've got Mason Cameron right next to me here. I'm Max Chadwick to go over the best bets for Thursday Night Football. Mason, before we get into that, though, tell us more about the Week 13 matchup between these two teams.
I'm stoked for this game, Max.
Yeah.
We wait all year for games like this to come across on the Thursday night slate. So you know that it's going to be a good one. And, of course, when these teams matched up in Week 13, it was another great game. It was a little bit, grinded out. Game ended 21-19. Rams win NLA. But Seattle managed to cover that game as 3.5-point dogs on the road. That was actually Seattle's first cover against LA in the Mike McDonald era. And, like I said, points were a little bit hard to come by. We all watched that game. LA popped out to 2 early touchdowns, but then they were pretty silent until the fourth quarter there. Seattle, they stayed in it. They strung together, some field goals. They needed some late-game heroics from Sam Darnold after the 4 interceptions, his most since the Seeing Ghosts game. And I don't know, man. He's resilient. An 84-yard touchdown drive late to cut this game to 2 points. A subsequent stop by that defense, who has been absolutely lights out, by the way, since that game. And, of course, Jason Myers just missed the 61-yarder. It's a really long field goal. Jason Myers, a great player, kept them in that game all day long. But, unfortunately, they couldn't get it done in that one.
So tell me more about these two teams going into this game throughout the entire season so far.
So, really, I don't think you need me to tell you that these are two powerhouses,
yes,
right? But what some people probably don't know is that not only are they some of the best teams in the NFL, they're some of the best teams in betting markets. They're tied atop the NFL with 10-4 records against the spread. And when we look at the Rams, oh boy, when we look at the Rams, they have some of the highest metrics that we record here at PFF. They have the highest team offensive grade at 93.7, highest team defensive grade, 89.7. The highest graded quarterback, Matthew Stafford, highest graded receiver, Puka Nacua, highest graded offensive line as a unit. The list goes on. They have guys all over this team, all over this roster, in the top 10 at their position, in the top 5 at their position. It's pretty much up and down that we see it. But they have a big loss this week. Potentially not going to have Devontae Adams, who's been crucial for them, particularly with racking up touchdowns. He leads the NFL with 14 touchdown receptions. He's dealing with a hamstring injury, which, it could pose a bit of a problem for them in the red zone because he has been absolutely unguardable down in short fields there. But it's going to be something worth watching.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, if you want to look at the PFF power rankings available on PFF.com, I should have mentioned this before, the two favorites to win the NFC right now are the Los Angeles Rams at 34% and the Seattle Seahawks at 20%. So not only the two best teams in the NFC West, arguably the two best teams in the entire NFC right now in these two teams. Mason, what is your favorite game bet for this Thursday Night Football?
Well, I want to go back just a little bit. I want to talk about the Hawks. I don't want to make this all about the Rams. With the Hawks, they're, like you just said, they're not that far behind. We see the Hawks be an incredible team in a lot of different facets. They're 3rd in offensive grade, 4th in overall defensive grade, Sam Darnold 6th in passing, and JSN 2nd in receiving. So they're right there with this team in the ability to produce talent on the field. And I think the biggest advantage that Seattle has in this game is actually where their defense has been. Now, the Rams, they have an excellent defense, but this Seattle defense has been absolutely incredible, and they don't get enough credit for how well they played the last time these two teams matched up. They held this Rams offense to their lowest EPA per play of the season, as well as they only allowed the Rams to generate positive EPA on 37.3% of plays. That is a very low number, particularly for an offense that is as explosive and effective at staying on schedule as this Rams unit is. And I mean, that's really just the tip of the iceberg for Mike Macdonald's defense. Since week 6, this has been the best defense in the NFL at limiting teams in EPA per play on average at minus 0.208. That is much higher than even the Houston Texans, the Cleveland Browns, the Rams themselves. That's the type of unit that we're talking about here on the defensive side of the ball. Unfortunately, though, Max, I'm going to reverse course with my pick here.
Okay.
And we're taking the LA Rams on the money line. So the Rams are minus 1.5 point favorites in this game on the road, but most books are actually putting the money line at even around minus 110. So this game is essentially a pick 'em. And really, it comes down to the trends and sort of what we've seen from both of these teams in those situations. The trends just lean towards the Rams right here. As road favorites, Max, the Rams are 8-1 against the spread. 8-1. That's an insane number. Yeah. On the other side of this thing, Seattle has to prove that they can win these big games. I wanted to pick Seattle very bad, but so many things just go against them in this situation, and this is a big one. They have to prove they can beat these high-caliber opponents in their own building as home dogs. They're 1-6 against the spread as home dogs since the start of last season. And for me, the biggest factor in this one is actually that the Seahawks are likely going to be without Charles Cross. So it leaves an offensive line unit, which was probably this team's Achilles heel, and it takes really their best player away from them. And when you're coming up against a Rams defensive line that can pressure at the 6th highest rate in the NFL, that's going to spell some trouble for Sam Darnold, who is fairly sensitive to pressure. He has the second biggest difference between his clean pocket passing grade and his passing grade under pressure. We saw what the Colts did last week. They're not really that high level of a pass rush unit or that high level of a defense, and it really was a tough back and forth game for them in that one, as 13.5, 14-point favorites in that game. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Rams to find a way to win on the road, just like they did this last game.
All right, Rams money line minus 110 is our first favorite bet of Thursday Night Football. Before we get to the player prop bets for this, we want to remind you guys right now, the player prop tool and all the betting tools here at PFF are available for 30% off right now when you use the promo code HOLIDAY30. So again, use that promo code right now because that is not lasting very long. HOLIDAY30 to get 30% off. The betting tools, our fantasy football tools, are all the grades, insights, analytics that every single NFL team uses. Over 240 college football programs use PFF grades as well. All of it is available for 30% off right now when you use the promo code HOLIDAY30. And by the way, we're giving out our best bets for not just Thursday Night Football, but for Sunday and, of course, Monday Night Football as well with the PFF betting show live every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time with Mason on the desk, with our guy Ben Lindsay on the desk, and Judah Fortgang as well. Live every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, the PFF NFL betting show right here on this channel. All right, Mason, Rams money line is one of your favorite bets for this week. What are your favorite player prop bets for Thursday Night Football?
I don't think we can talk about this Seattle offense without saying JSN over. He has been absolutely electric all year. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that this is an elite receiver in so many different facets of his game, and this is one of the picks that our tool loves. And so we're going to go over 6.5 receptions, about minus 115, 120, depending on where we're going. And this is a 15% edge based on our tool. And if you see right here, our key insight up on the screen right here really tells you a huge story of this game right here. JSN ranks third among wide receivers in receptions per game entering this matchup. He is incredible. He's one of only 2 players in the NFL to be targeted on over 30% of his routes with at least 100 routes run. The other one obviously being Puka Nacua, another player in this game right here. No other player on the Hawks has above a 20% target rate per route run with 100-plus routes. That is incredible. He has 8 games with 10-plus targets. He averages 9.6 per game, and he has 10 games with 6 or more catches. We can go into this one, and that includes 8 of his last 10 games. He's been able to go over this mark right here. And when we talk about this Rams defense, they're 29th in receptions per game allowed. That's the 4th most in the NFL. And notable performances versus this Rams defense over just the last couple weeks. Amon-Ra St. Brown last week, 13, 164, 2 touchdowns. Week 14, Michael Wilson, 11 for 142, 2 touchdowns. So I really think the sky is the limit for JSN in this game to get him at 6.5 receptions, which is one of the lower numbers for his market this year. I think that we're in for a good look right there. And Max, if you scroll up just a little bit there, we can actually see his matchup advantages versus each of these cornerbacks. And, the Rams, they've had a really good secondary. You can see 8 out of 32 teams in coverage metrics. But if we see his advantages against each one of these cornerbacks, he's going to be able to excel no matter the matchup. And I think he really stands a great chance of going over this number.
Yeah, he's been one of the best receivers in the NFL this year, and probably going to get a lot of targets against the Los Angeles Rams in this game, too. He's kind of gone over this line in almost every single game this year, so I think it's pretty smart to bet that he would go over 6.5 catches once again in this one. What other bets are you kind of targeting in Thursday Night Football, Mason?
This is one that I was really shocked when we were shopping the market and taking a look at some of these things. I'm really loving Colby Parkinson for an anytime touchdown here. And this is actually a bet that we've seen have a big edge in our tool here with our player prop tool. And he has a favorable matchup against Seattle in zone coverages, but really where I think his advantage lies in this one is in the red zone. When we talk about no Devontae Adams for this Rams offense, and we know Matthew Stafford loves to look at Devontae Adams when they get into that short area of the field, but I don't think it gets enough credit how much he looks at Colby Parkinson. This guy is targeted on an absolutely insane 52.6% of his red zone targets. No other player in the NFL with at least 10 routes in the red zone has above a 40% target share like that. So I definitely know that when they get down into that area, we're going to see opportunities for Colby to get the ball, particularly without Devontae Adams on the field. He's one of the best, highest graded red zone receivers in the NFL at 91.5 red zone receiving grade. And really, if we go to his hit rate, Max, up at the top here, you can just see the advantage that he's had over his last few games. He's scored in 5 of his last 6, including 2 this past week, and of course, a big one here, 1 in the head-to-head matchup against Seattle the last time they played. So go ahead and give me Colby Parkinson, anytime touchdown. If you see at the bottom of the screen, you guys too, you can see where you're able to get it at different books, depending on where you have accounts. And of course, make sure you guys go over to DraftKings, use promo code PFF, and you can get in on that action as well. But you can see the markets for any of the books out there. You can shop around for the best values. And of course, we can get this one here at about plus 235. And this one's moving. This one's moving away from Colby. So make sure you guys go and get in on that. It was plus 265 last night when I get in on that. And now it's plus 230. And this is a good value here, which I think you're going to be able to take advantage of.
Love it. All right, best bets for Thursday Night Football and what is one of the biggest games of the year, not only in the NFC West, but the entire NFL. The 2 favorites right now, according to PFF's power rankings, to win the NFC. The 3 best bets for us is Rams money line in this one. We also like Jackson Smith and Jigba over 6.5 catches, and Colby Parkinson anytime touchdown at about plus 235. You can get it right now. Once again, the betting show every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time to go over the best bets for the entire week of the NFL. But enjoy this Thursday Night Football because it's going to be one of the best games of the year. For Mason Cameron, I'm Max Chadwick. We'll see you guys next time for our best bets.
Everyone's got takes. Numbers have truth. And the truth is, most people are betting with emotion. Sportsbooks feed on it. TikTok gurus sell it. The hype machine runs on it. That's how you lose. PFF is different. You're betting with winning data. The same data trusted by all 32 NFL teams and the sharpest minds in the game. PFF betting tools take every prop, every matchup, every angle, and run them through our custom models. Built on the best football data in the world. What comes back is your edge. Simple, sharp, and built to win. Want to go deeper? PFF puts a pro-level analytics department in your hands, giving you the same insights teams use to find every advantage. Build your game plan with matchup analysis. Project every snap, every matchup, and every edge before kickoff. Because the smartest plays start long before Sunday. Hit rates show how a player performs against their prop and against defenses built the same way. It's the data that gives you real confidence in every pick. Next, Key Insights translates PFF data into the story behind every matchup, giving you the why that powers your bets. From coverage schemes to defensive looks, it's the context that turns raw numbers into winning decisions. When you're ready to take action, filter through every prop on the market and focus on the opportunities that matter, by game, matchup, or value. Then, shop for the best available line in your area and tap your book of choice to place the bet instantly. Everyone's got takes, but now you've got truth. Bet with data, win with PFF.